Good afternoon, lace jumping. I'm John, this is many a true nerd, and welcome back to Skies of Arcadia, where last time we got our hands on Moon Crystal number 2 and saved Ix'taka. And that means today it's time for us to mosey to the northeast and go and revisit Valuad to see what we can do about getting our hands on the next crystal, the yellow one, though let's just say what's waiting for us in Valuad probably isn't what you expect. And yes indeed, as we were saying last episode, we're now heading into the north through North Ocean. Now we can access this bit of the sky. And for the most part we're kicking off today by doing a whole whack of, lovely discovery hunting, because basically every island dotted around this bit of the ocean has got, something going on it. Kicking off with the Rock's Nest. The nest of a legendary bird, the Rock. A single rock egg is large enough to feed a whole town for a full lunar cycle. However, not many people are brave or stupid enough to try and steal an egg from the nest of this giant bird, and yes indeed, you may notice though we found the nest, we've not found the rock, so let's just say we'll be coming back to this location later. Instead, just keep on keeping on island hopping around, because as I say, there is a lot we could get out of this location. I cannot remember all of it, but there we go. Wasn't even necessarily expecting one there. On to the Will-O-Wisps. So indeed, just mysterious points of light floating around an island. What's a lot more cute, however, is, yes, if we just mosey over to this large island over here. Hang about, I know there's something going on around here. Here we flipping go, one island further along, the Giant's Hammer. So yes indeed, a strange structure found in the northern regions of Ix'taka. It was named the Giant's Hammer for its unusual shape, but there are many local legends that tell of giants, so maybe the name is not so far from the truth, and yes indeed, this most certainly looks way too much like a hammer for it to just be, a weird coincidence given a fun name. And hang about, if we just swing round to, the southeast and check out a few more rocky islands on the other side of North Ocean, because, seriously, North Ocean is pretty bloody big, all things considered. Here we flipping go, the Giant Throne, an enormous rock formation that looks suspiciously like a rocking chair, including giant claw marks talking about a great green creature, so yes indeed, these are not just, random landmarks, etc, etc. These are literally where Grendel used to hang out before the Rains of Destruction destroyed this bit of Arcadia. So, yes indeed, presumably once upon a time, the lad had a giant hammer. Though fortunately, when we fought him, he didn't have it anymore. So, good, he would have been much harder had he been in possession of, a cocking sledgehammer or whatnot. And yes indeed, while the game never really visits this again in any capacity, it is interesting to note that yes, there's like, a vague suggestion that maybe once upon a time, the giggers like, used tools and had thrones and whatnot. So yes, maybe in ancient times, they actually, engage with the ancient societies a bit more than they do these days. It's hard to say. And as we just mosey around North Ocean and fill in the map a bit, yes, if you're a smart cookie, you may have immediately noticed, John, it looks like you might be able to, double back on yourself and go down into a bit of a hidden corner of the map, so I bet there's a really cool secret hidden down there. And yes indeed, there is just one, a rather cool little thing floating around here. Hang on, I see you over there. You're not getting away from me, no matter what attacks me in the meantime. You might want to be a bit careful in this bit of the world, by the way, because yes, we are being attacked by these lovely Rosalinds, and okay, they might not look that tough, being as they are just plants and whatnot, but seriously, these guys are a bit on the tanky sides. Here we go, just kick off with, yes, Ica doing a lovely land burst, which obviously we know works very well against the pineapples, so, if it works against one sort of floating plant, obviously it's going to work against the others, and, yeah, these guys are, a bit on the nasty side, and Vies with a cocky critical hit can't kill one, so yes indeed, these guys are not nothing. Don't underestimate them. Here we go, Death Blossom doing almost 500 damage in a small area around it, so yeah, these guys, they are not cocky kidding around. And here we go, as we were just chasing down here, my favourite type of discovery. Yes indeed, I do enjoy how there's, various ones that just wander around the map. Sometimes they're just in fixed locations, sometimes you've got to chase them down. And sometimes they're faster than you are, so you need to, like, figure out their route and intercept them. So yes, indeed, this is a triplet of cyclones, though unfortunately, yes, it said that if you encounter them, all you can do is pray. However, on the other side, inside it, there's the treasure of 1,000 air pirates. Unfortunately, neither is true. It poses, like, no risk to your ship, and also, there's no money in it, aside from what you could get from selling information about it to the Sailors Guilds. This does also hilariously bring us, yes, really nearby to Pirate Island, because the way this map works is you kind of spiral out from where you started, so we made it back almost to where we began. Anyway, let's mosey back up north towards Valor, because yes indeed, you may have seen floating around a moment ago. Here we go, a handful of other ships, and yeah, that particular profile means Black Pirates. If you want to fight it, go ahead, that's going to be a ship fight. Honestly, I think we're okay for the time being, so just work around you and no trouble, buddy. And instead, just head northeast towards our next destination proper. Because yes, indeed, here we flippy go. You might be able to tell we're getting close to Valor again because, yeah, there is literally a Valoran ship on patrol round here. Again, you can fight it or not, that's your choice, but as we get, a little bit closer to Valor itself, we do rather suddenly run into something, yes, a bit on the, surprising side. Black Pirate Gordo ship, the Bloodlust. Yes, indeed, the lad seems to be having a lovely, lovely time inside, enjoying his starfish soup, his Valoran chicken with onion sauce, and a mountain of flying fish. So, okay, Gordo's just having a lovely, lovely time, and yes indeed, I did try and warn you, Skies of Arcadia loves tossing curveballs at you. Like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we've got something, yes, rather unexpected to deal with here. This is wonderful, that ship we hit yesterday really had some great food on board. And Captain Gordo, a ship armed with a gigantic harpoon, has been sighted off the port sides. And okay, that's got Gordo's attention. I see, good. Another ship full of goodies that's there for the taking. I'll take on anyone if I think they've got good food on board. And I really hope they've got something that goes well with fish. Yes, indeed. All of a sudden, we've got to take on, yes, a gigantic, like, culinary pirate. It's marvellous. I know that flag, it belongs to a pirate named Gordo. He's known as the Gourmet Pirate. He attacks other ships and steals their food. He rarely uses his cannons because he's afraid he'll burn the food on the other ship. He'll do anything for a good meal. As far as Black Pirates go, he's a strange one, and, okay, in the universe of Skies of Arcadia, that's cocking saying something. And immediately, yes indeed, the ship rocks because he's boarding us given he doesn't want to risk burning the food by setting our ship on fire. So, oh Gordo, you're a star. Still, on this occasion, yes, it's something a little bit unusual here, which is, we're not just taking on Gordo, we're also taking on his crew of mad chefs, who are armed with saucepans. As I say, this is just a really cocking odd game, okay? But weirdly enough, this is actually going somewhere. Okay, what I'm going to do as a starting point is, yeah, I'm going to have Vise and Drachma just use regular attacks on Gordo. Because, yeah, I'm not going to be focusing on his crew just yet, and there's a very particular reason for that. And that is, yes, I want to save up my special for one turn. So, okay, Ica, you just get Vise into a very, very good shape, please. Lovely. Fina, you can just drop yourself a Crystales on Gordo. Beautiful. It appears to be color-coded red, given, he wants to fry all the food and whatnot. So, Drachma, you go in for one regular attack too. So, alright, that's a fairly solid start, all things considered, and we'll get to his crew next time, though I enjoy them bouncing. And I also enjoy how they're basically Waluigi. He's just brought along 3 Waluigis to fight me. It's great. And here we go. They just start tossing frying pans at me. Why not? And, oh yeah. The chefs are not that dangerous. Don't worry about them. Counterattacks alone are doing... In fact, Vise is getting really lucky with the counterattacks. They are taking care of this. Yes, the dangerous thing about the chefs is they know fire magic, including... Pires. So okay, a much more dangerous version of a Piri. Doing a little bit of damage, but honestly, not so much. And Gordo is not that dangerous, you don't need to worry about him. Like, I was saving up the special so we could do Rain of Swords, though I don't really feel like we need to be perfectly honest. Like, the situation is well under control without needing to do Rain of Swords. Like, Gordo, even though he was guarding, has already lost a fair whack of his health, so honestly, we're not going to do that. No. Everything's under control. We're just going to do a Cutlass Fury right there. That's fine. Honestly, I could just drop a tiny bit of light healing on Vise and Fina. I'd say this, might be a lovely opportunity for you to try out your lunar glyph again, see if you can get lucky, and petrify Gordo, because, yes, you absolutely cannot use instant kill on most bosses, but many of them can still be petrified, so, Drachma. You just finish off, yes, the Mad Chef, and that's absolutely a-okay, lovely. So, okay, Vise is now back up to full condition, lovely. Just going in for an attack, nothing to worry about there. Honestly, even Ika's counter is doing good work, and here we go, one lunar glyph, because, okay, I'll admit, Fina's special moves don't hurt that much, but on occasion, they've got good utility damage, so there we go, a bit of damage there, and we got the petrification. So yes, basically, Gordo now can't do anything, and also I'm now going to go and beat him up, despite the fact he's a statue, which is delightful. So alright, he just takes a cocking, well, that was it. Okay, Gordo went down way faster than I was expecting. In fact, one of his chefs outlived him. Dearo Flippidia, poor Gordo. He does have a special ability that does let him, like, spew a flaming alcohol across the field. It does hurt a bit, but on this occasion, yes, we set him on fire before he was able to use it. Beautiful. And hilariously, yes, what we get from him is a giant pile of food. Like, he was planning to rob us of food, so as a result, we've stolen food in return, though, okay. As I say, this was not just a random extra encounter, just as like a fun fight or something. Oh no, this is now going to lead into something. So we give up, you and your crew fought well. Your name was Vise, right? Don't think I've ever seen you in Northern Ocean before. And yes indeed, this is the first time we've ever been here. For now, we're riding aboard Captain Drachma's ship, the Little Jack. And all of a sudden, Gordo seems to be, remembering something. Drachma, by any chance were you ever in North Ocean before? And what if I was? And yes, indeed it is you. I've heard all about you. You're the sailor that's chasing the Arkwell Rhaknam. If I recall correctly, it was to avenge your son, right? And enough. Drachma does not want to hear any more about this. I don't know what stories you've been hearing, but I suggest you keep them to yourself. And unless you want me to throw you overboard, you should get off my ship. So that's quite alright, we'll be going now, no trouble whatsoever, off they flippy go, and we just let them be on their way. What are you staring at? You're gonna stand there all day, get back to the bridge before I throw you overboard too. So alright, a bit more, pounding on the ship with a robot arm, etc, etc. Everyone just, runs to get on with their duties and so on and so forth. Aside from Fina, who does one tiny super cute bow before she goes, so yes, indeed. We might be turning our attention to Drachma's backstory, because there's a tiny bit more to it than you might have previously thought. Still, for the time being, just keep on moseying north, and yes, as the sky gets darker, that's a pretty good indication. We are now very, very close to Valor itself. Just check every island for, various discoveries, because I know there's one somewhere close by here. Here we go, that landmass there, that looks like Valor to me, and I know that, hang on, somewhere around, oh! Okay, we were about to discover something, but then we ran into, yes, a cutscene instead, so okay, make sure we get that once this is over, so, yes indeed, we're back in Valor airspace, the land, the sky, it all looks very familiar, though yes, we're kind of like on this occasion, looping around the back of the capital city we went into last time. So alright, let's get some information from Fina, because okay, yellow moon means a yellow crystal. So alright, yes indeed, it's sealed somewhere in these lands, along with the yellow giga. And considering how much trouble we've caused the Valorants already, we should probably be extra careful, right Captain? And Drachma doesn't seem to be, listening at the moment. All of a sudden, ever since that fight, he's been a bit on the distracted side. So, Captain, what's wrong? Nothing? Sorry, were you saying something? Nothing really, wasn't anything important. So alright, everyone is very much taking notes of the fact that all of a sudden, Drachma seems a bit on the distracted side. Anyway, back to where we were, and yes indeed, on the very southern tip of Valuer at the start of North Ocean, we have got the Lighthouse Ruins. And I will say, I like the architecture with, like, you know, the golden rings. You get the feeling that once upon a time, this was a really cooking fancy structure used to guide ships returning from the north. But as the centre of Valuan culture shifted to the south into, yes, the current modern day centre that feeds out into mid-ocean, not into North Ocean, the once great lighthouse faded from people's memories, and it fell to ruin. This is what I love about, you know, the Discoveries, by the way. They just tell you so much about, you know, the culture and history of Arcadia that's not explicitly told you at any other time. So alright, I also see one more ship up here. Hello there, buddy. And as we would have already guessed, yes indeed, the reason there's suddenly traffic in North Ocean is they basically at some point in recent years discovered Ix'Ataka. And all of a sudden, new goods and wealth are flowing in from that direction. So alright, just mosey on in, yellow moon overhead, etc, because, okay, there's definitely one more landmark round here, but I cannot remember precisely where this one's located. It's somewhere nearby, but there is a very good chance I am not going to stumble across it, because I can never remember where this one lies. Oh, but bare minimum, we do have a, yes indeed, a brand new sort of looper, colour-coded yellow on this occasion, so, okay. I think we know what we're going to be doing with you. Vice, you turn your attention to the Razorbeak, because those guys are a bit on the nasty side, and Ica, with your brand new, like, you know, weapon made out of Grendel's bones and whatnot, you have got a very good chance of taking out the Looper, because you have got ridiculous accuracy. And here we go, the brand new Looper, being, you know, a Looper for the Yellow Moon, it does indeed know yellow magic. It's not even terrible damage, to be honest. Some loopers can be a bit on the dangerous side, and bloody hell, loopers. Even with that much chance to hit, you still can't guarantee the hit on them. Loopers are cocking ridiculous. And on top of that, this new bird has, yes, the ability call allies, so it failed on this occasion. So, yes, some enemies can just call up more enemies. Obviously, if you do see those guys showing up, it's a good idea to take them out. Otherwise, the problem can just get exponentially worse over time. And there we go. Ica gets the kill anyway. Well done, Ica. Thank you for demonstrating the power of, you know, Grendel's wing. Okay, somewhere around here is the original Valuan Palace before they built the new one in the capital, but I cannot remember where it is. We may or may not stumble across it because, yes indeed, there's something rather more important round here we need to be investigating too. Here we go, right next to a big old valley of some description, we have got a giant ancient stone circle. The Moor of Tartus, a very good dramatic name, right flipping there, so yes indeed, this here is worth a coming to visit. Not least as, hang about, I just heard a chirp of, yes, our good friend Cupel. Cupel definitely wants a little snack, and there we go, we have got ourselves, oh dear, not a cham, but a chom. If you feed Cupel a chom, he regurgitates all his chams. Now you might be wondering what the point of that is. Well, Cupel is actually quite bloody complicated. You see, there are several types of chams, and depending on what order you feed them to Cupel, Cupel evolves into different directions. So you might want to undo all the progress you've made so far in order to spec Cupel in a different direction. And I know what you're thinking, John, why does it matter what direction you upgrade Cupel? Given Cupel's a physical weapon, and Fina's attack is terrible, so you're never going to be using it to attack, and I'm gonna be honest, like, that's a fair objection. Cupel is very hard to make into anything useful, but screw it, it's a mechanic in the game anyway, let's not worry about it for now. Instead, yes indeed, let's have a look-see at this gigantic little seal on the ground here, because I suspect Fina might be able to tell us a bit more about what's going on here. That chunk of metal is absolutely huge, and beneath it is the Moor of Tartus, the entrance to a series of caverns. These caverns are the resting place of the yellow crystal, as well as the yellow giga. This seal was built by my people after the rain's destruction in order to contain the yellow Giga, and for now, he lies dormant. So good, keep that thing locked up. Honestly, good approach, Drachma, very good idea. So, yes indeed, this means the Giga can't get out, but it also means we can't get in. The yellow crystal is locked away inside with it. So for the time being, yes, no one's seeing any possible way we could break through an ancient seal. So what do we do now? And hey, don't move. And alright, we've just been interrupted by a handful of Valoran soldiers. The punishment for trespassing near the Great Seal is death. So we're being tossed straight into a lovely big old fight against a handful of Valoran soldiers. Though, seriously, do not worry about these guys. They're nothing particularly nasty. Like, I know they're called enforcers, which sounds bad, but I feel like we really don't need to worry about them. In fact, you know what? I feel like the best thing we can do is just to put Vise over to Silver for the time being, and yeah, everyone just go into guard mode, apart from Drachma, who can use his spirit charge, because then he's guarding and also focusing at the same time. So why the cock not, actually? Love how dramatic that is. And here we go. Handful of attacks are not going to do anything to us. Honestly, our counterattacks are going to do more. So they're just going to come in, tossing grenades, actually. Well, cocky done. So, I mean, it's not terrible. But when we're guarding, it's not that great either. More attacks coming in. Yeah, they're not going to do too much to us. And, in a moment, it's going to be our turn again. Okay, Vise, how about you just, give him a quick rain of swords, and then, yes, just in case anyone's like, guarding or whatever, Drachma, you can finish them off. So, up we flipping go, and down comes the rain of swords because, oh, seriously, this is just such a damn badass thing. You're just nuking the field, and, okay, you know what? I will give you. The two of you are still alive is genuinely quite impressive. I was not expecting that. So, okay. Even so, one of them is still on the field just to finish them off. Honestly, yeah, if you just hammer A, everyone just auto-attacks the nearest enemy. So as a result, he goes down nice and easy. No trouble whatsoever. When I say no trouble, yes indeed. This is actually just the start of the trouble. Oh, though bare minimum double level up too, which is magnificent, including, oh, was that +1 spirit? An extra spirit point per round? Oh, I will flippin' take it. And just to confirm, when we, knock enemies out, they're not dead. They're always unconscious. We're playing by Batman rules here. Nobody dies, everybody's just knocked out. So, yes indeed, we surrender, please don't kill us, and tell us how to open the seal, and we'll let you live. Okay, Ica, I think he knows you're bluffing. You never could kill anyone. Now, if Drachma said it, I'd believe him. Drachma seems honestly a bit too keen to kill children. And it's impossible, our entire army couldn't open the seal. Our commanders aren't even concerned with the yellow crystal right now, because it's already in Valor, where it's safe from you. Something's not right here. You'd think this area would be more heavily guarded. We're literally in Valoran airspace right now. So where are the rest of your men, soldier? And they're preparing for the raid on Nazrad's. And yes, indeed, Valor is about to restart its war against Nazra. Now you may recall this has been mentioned to us before. Once upon a time there was a siege of Valor where the Nazra navy couldn't get past the Grand Fortress doorway, and yes indeed, since then there's been a bit of an uneasy peace, but okay, Valor was planning to restart the war. And I think so, but I'm just a grunt, so I don't know any of the details. But then there was a giant arc whale, it destroyed a few of our ships recently, one of our admirals is currently hunting it. And a giant arc whale, you say? Oh, here we go, here comes the threat of murder. Rhaknam is here, answer me. And I don't know for certain, some fog rolled in yesterday, and there were sightings of a huge creature. And that means it's probably still in the area. And I have to go after Rhaknam. I've been following you kids around looking for these crystals all this time. Now it's your turn to follow me. So yes indeed, we are in fact not going after the yellow crystal right now because we simply don't know how to get it. Instead, we need to turn our attention to Drachma's business for the moment. And you know what, Drachma? That there is really fair. if we just ignore the multiple instances where you abandoned and marooned us, you've been a pretty damn good sport about helping us out, so... okay. It's time. We are now resuming the hunt for Rhaknam. Very well, the time has now come for me to finally face Rhaknam. He was the reason that I got the harpoon cannon in the first place. I'm gonna kill him, or die trying. So alright, we are now done with all of that. Time to get on the flipping hunt. Though hilariously, hang on just a second, there's not the seal voice, not the seal. There's definitely something else here for Cupel. And there we go, a second charm. Now, you might be wondering why multiple contaminated poisonous charms are just floating around on this ancient seal. And I have no idea, it's never explained. So okay, back to the ship, and yes indeed, we're now doing a Drachma's work, which means he's now functionally in charge. He gets to call the shots, so we need to rest up before we attack Rhaknam. There's always a thick fog surrounding him, he knocks ships out of the sky, they never even see him coming. So yes indeed, that canyon we saw just a second ago, right next to the moor, we're gonna hide in that and ambush him at the first sign of the fog. Tonight we sleep here. Drop anchor, boy. Later that night, my heart was racing with excitement. I was too anxious to get even a wink of sleep. And as a result, yes indeed, Vice decides to take a bit of a midnight walk to help calm himself down. So alright, we've seen the ship before. We know, for example, yes, this is now Ica and Fina's bedroom, so we're going to be leaving them alone. Though, do enjoy the Ica mumbles, I swear I didn't steal anything in her sleep. That's just delightful. However, if we just, mosey over to the other side, what we know to be, Drachma's room, this is the captain's room, but I don't hear him snoring like usual. I wonder if he's awake too. So alright, no response, how about we, just have a bit of a mosey round and see if we can track down Drachma, because our captain is currently missing. Well, no one currently at the wheel either, so in which case there's only one more place to search, and that is, yes, just nip outside, onto the deck. And there we flipping go. The lad's just, chilling out by himself. What are you doing up at this hour? You should be getting some rest. And I was about to say the same thing. It's the middle of the night. And on top of that, what's that you're holding there? Okay, he invites us to open it. And what we've got inside is... yes, indeed. It's full of feathers. My son collects... used to collect those. You had a son. And I'm about the same age as you. A long time ago, I ran a fishing boat in North Ocean. My son was learning to be a sailor. He used to come out with us. His name was Jack. He was a small boy who liked to help out. The other sailors, they used to call him Little Jack. One day, we went out fishing as usual, and then Rhaknam came. We didn't know how powerful he was, and we tried to fight him. But there was no way a fishing boat stood a chance against that thing. Rhaknam destroyed our ship, and I barely managed to survive. But my crew and Jack, they weren't so lucky. Last time I saw Jack, he was clutching some feathers as he fell, like they'd stop him from falling. I can still hear my son scream as he fell. From that day on, I swore revenge on Rhaknam, for my crew and for Jack. I need to kill Rhaknam to avenge my crew and my son. I'm getting long-winded in my old age. Don't let it bother you. It's my problem. And Captain... oh, speak of the flippin' devil, fog has suddenly rolled in. And here we flipping go. Go wait the others, it's cocking time. So, yes indeed, I can't deny, I rather like this tiny reveal in the plot, because the natural assumption when you meet Drachma is, why is he after Rhaknam? Well, he lost his arm to Rhaknam. He's, getting revenge for that. And then, yes indeed, he hits you with the real reason the boat's called the Little Jack. And I think it's a lovely reveal. So, okay. Let's cocky go. It's Rhaknam hunting time. And here's a very fun moment in the game here, because when I say it's Rhaknam hunting time, I do mean that very literally. We need to track him down, and the way you do it is using noise, which is, you may recall from our encounter with Rhaknam, the noise he makes, that weird cry. So you've got to go through Valuar and track him down by getting closer and closer to the source of the noise. So, alright, just mosey, I think northeast brings us in roughly the right direction. Stop and listen. There we flipping go. I think I got it pretty much first time there. So, here we go. Into the flipping fog. What's that sound? Advise, I hope you know what that sound is, because we were literally just using it to track down the cocking whale. And, sounds like no. It turns out instead, it's cannon fire. Remember, we're not the only ones hunting this whale right now. Here we flipping go. The gigantic silhouette of Rhaknam is dead ahead. We found him. But, like we were just saying, we're not the only ones on his trail. So, alright, just maybe don't get, like, you know, struck by him directly, given he is really, really, really cocky, big and whatnot. So, look over there. And there we go. The source of the cannon fire. 3 Valuan ships, including one that looks a bit on the special side, it must be flipping said. Just trying to, yes, hunt him down and stop him before he causes any more damage to the Valuan assault force. Though, okay, bare minimum, this kind of works to our advantage. They might have just softened him up a bit. So, Captain, whose ship is that? While we were in Valuar, I heard rumours the Armada had altered their chain of commands. That must be Ramirez's ship. He was Gaussian's vice captain. He's the most feared officer in the entire Armada. And once again, Fina reacting to the name Ramirez. Fina, what's wrong? And for the time being, she's not willing to tell us more. There's definitely something going on here, but we've got more important things to deal with. Captain, we can't fight both at the same time. What are we going to do? Take up the Valuan ships first. I don't want them interfering in the fight with Rhaknam. I need to kill Rhaknam myself, so, oh Drachma. I feel like you are making not the best tactical decision here. You've been blinded by your need for revenge. So, leave Ramirez alone, take out the other 2 cruisers in front of us first. So okay, standard Valuan ship and nothing too dramatic. We fought, you know, ships like this before. In fact, we've taken on coking and nuclear giants. I think we can deal with this, damn it. And yeah, no harpoon cannon coming up, so for the time being, we could just start laying down a little bit of fire just to see how tough this old bastard is. So, okay. Straight away, probably, yeah, let's just start laying down a little bit of fire right here. Obviously, want the apple wax right there, and if they're going to be firing at us, yeah, Drachma does the guarding. So we'll see how tough they are, because, yeah, they might be a little bit nastier than some of the ships we fought so far, given this is not just a standard Valuan cruiser, this instead is, yes, part of the brand new 6 Armada belonging to Ramirez. So, they miss us, we return fire with the 3-inch blaster, and, okay. I feel like we don't even necessarily need the harpoon cannon. We can probably take these guys out with just, yeah, standard conventional firepower. So, alright, here we go, 2 shots at the same time here. Unfortunately, yeah, I think they did a guard there, so they got significantly reduced damage, coming in for 1 more attack, and, oh dear, guys, that's the power of flippin' Drachma. And there's the proper G-type cannon, good, that did something at least, and heavy sub-cannon, that's a miss too. Okay, they've been unlucky, but don't forget, I went out of my way to get the twin propeller. So my dodge is actually, yeah, pretty good right now. So okay, we've got a harpoon cannon coming up. Honestly, probably the best thing we can do is just go straight for that. Because, yeah, if we get that, he's just going to go down. There's no way he can survive it. In which case, yeah, this turn we're literally just guarding, focusing, and making sure we're ready to cock and go. And okay, we can fight defensively or fight aggressively, and 100% get right up in their faces. That's easily the best option. Just get in right over there. Lovely. And okay, surely they can't survive this, but just in case they somehow can, basically everybody start firing. Athena, you get to fire some cocky torpedoes on this occasion. Why not? But I do not see them surviving this next turn, damn it. So, I mean, good luck firing torpedoes. I feel like this is not going to work out for you. Instead, here we cocky go. Harpoon cannon right up the bloody arse, and you, sir, are going right the cock down. You've got to love the harpoon cannon. It's just marvellous. So, right, down you flipping go. And by the looks of it, okay. We've actually now got a straight shot right into Rhaknam. So, oh yeah, he is looking wounded. This is going to be the best shot Drachma might ever get. So, here we flipping go. I've waited for this for a long time. Harpoon cannon, fire. And off it goes. And sticks straight into him. So, there's no escape for ya. The Rhaknam is, yes, sufficiently tough. It's not taking him down. Instead, the harpoon is now wedged right into him. And unfortunately, yes, Drachma, you may have forgotten one small thing during your bloody quest for revenge. Captain, watch out. There's an enemy ship off the starboard side. It's Ramirez. He got behind us while we were concentrating on Rhaknam, meaning our boat is now under heavy fire, and we're literally tied to the whale, meaning there's nothing we can cocky do to defend ourselves. The little jack is on fire, propeller power dropping rapidly, we're losing altitudes. This isn't good. If we keep this up, we're all going to die. And no, I've waited far too long, I may never get another chance. Captain, we've got to abandon ship. We need to get to the lifeboats down below. And what? You're telling me to abandon the little jack? You're telling me to let Rhaknam go? And yes, because if you die, it's not going to bring back your son. As long as you're alive, you'll always have another chance. And if you die now, the lives of your crew and your son would have been lost in vain. Yes, indeed, Vise is just taking control on this occasion. We're abandoning ship. Everybody get down below. So, yes, indeed. The little jack is indeed very much on fire and about to cocking explode. So, it's time for us to go. She's been a good ship, but this is not just, a temporary setback. We're not just limping back to port or anything. This is the cocking ends. I do enjoy, by the way, you can take a moment with Vise to, yes, say goodbye to your hammock, by the way. So, I've actually grown to like this hammock, but I guess I'll never sleep in it again. So, goodbye, sweet hammock. You served us well. So, we know where the lifeboats are, right here behind, yes, this big door. We saw them when we were exploring, right at the flipping start. So, okay, Ika and Fina in one, me and the captain in the other. But first up, the captain is just going to be, making sure Ika and Fina get away. No problem there whatsoever. Captain, get on board, because, okay, in the meantime, Rhaknam is hurt. Captain, what are you doing? Don't do it. And alright, Ika and Fina are safely away. So, Drachma, it's time for you to get on board the last lifeboat, Drachma, and he's decided that's not what he wants to do. On this particular occasion, Drachma's decided he's going down with the ship. And unfortunately, it's not quite cocking over yet, because we're still under cocking fire. Ramirez is firing at the lifeboats. He is not happy to let us go, so unfortunately, yes, lifeboats do not have much in the way of defense, and with one more shot, Vise just spirals off out of control down into the storm. And it's not looking, 100% great for Ika or Fina either. More shots coming in. And with one good shot across them too, they fly off into the storm as well. And with that, yes indeed, things are not looking great for our party right now. So alright. Sometime later, we've got Vise waking up somewhere we have never seen before. and he doesn't look, particularly in good shape. Still, bare minimum, you're alive, you landed on an island, that's a pretty good start. So, alright, bit of a poke around, etc, etc. I've been separated from Ica and Fina. I hope they're okay. And where am I? Yes, indeed. Ica, Fina, and Drachma have all left the party. Meaning Vise is now completely alone on this desert island, and if you're expecting me to, just walk round the corner and find Ica and Fina just hanging out round the side of this tree, and then in 10 minutes Drachma just swoops in with the little jack and somehow rescues us, oh no. Vise is actually cocking alone on this island. And he's gonna be here for quite some cocking time. Not least because, yes, the lifeboat I came in on is rather bloody smashed up. And if we just, mosey up to the top of the island right here just to, have a bit of a look around and whatnot, we have absolutely no cocking clue where we are. I mean, we've got a big island, there's plants on it, that's good, there's water, etc, etc, but no sign of boats, no sign of islands, no sign of anything at all. So yes, indeed, as I mentioned last episode, Skies of Arcadia does just love mixing things up on occasion. So, for the time being, our hunt for the crystals is on hold. Because, right, we've got, some more pressing concerns to figure out. Like, how precisely is Vise going to survive on this completely deserted tiny island? And where the cock did the rest of my team end up? Because, as I say, none of them are on this island with me. This is now Vise's private deserted island to figure out how to survive on all by himself. So, yes indeed. How about, having made it here, we call it a part there. But next time, yes indeed. Vise has to figure out how to survive, and we might just figure out what happened to Fina and Ica's lifeboat too. So hopefully you join me for that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd. And this has been Skies of Arcadia. Thank you very much, and goodbye. If we just hide the bodies, nobody needs to know about this. Yes! My stupid plan has worked! It turns out I'm a genius! The giant rad scorpion is not gone! Oh, hang on, there's more yet though, I'm still being very shocked. Guys, where's the NCR? Nobody needs to know.